I'm back with another video. This one is kind of retelling the tale of the sequel trilogy, and in the best way that I can. I have no notes, so I'm just gonna wing it. I forgot to do notes. So what was the story? Why did we need this journey here? As you saw in the original trilogy, it was the fall of the Jedi, and the original trilogy, it was the rise of, or the holding of the Empire, and then the re-rise of the Jedi, and then now it is what? Balance. That is what this trilogy is about. You see the light and darkness between Rey and Kylo Ren a lot, and that is kind of a story element that a lot of people, I feel, aren't necessarily picking up on. It could be wrong, a lot of people could be picking up on it, but the outspoken fandom seems to not be, so that's what I'm going off of. Rey symbolizes, now that it's been confirmed that she is a Palpatine, she is the light inside the darkness, and Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, is the darkness inside the light. This is coming from our brother's point of view, and I think he did it perfectly. They form the yin-yang, the dyad, so to speak, is they balance each other. You need the good and the bad in order to survive. As far as or not survive, but live a balanced life. And that's what this story is telling us. So that is why the ending of it, whenever Kylo Ren, or not Kylo Ren, but at that point Ben Solo, and now I guess is Rey Skywalker, since she has donned that name, they stand united against one thing that doesn't understand balance, true balance. And then what happens is what happens. But so I do like that arc is there. I do like the journey that they take us to get there. I do believe that the mind connection started in episode 7, whenever Kylo Ren was trying to get the knowledge of where Skywalker, or the map was, and the stuff like that. I do believe that that's where the seeds was at least initially planted. Between them two, Finn kind of had a weird roller coaster of a decent arc that should have been better. He had pretty much a repeat arc in both movies of episode 7 and 8. He learns that war is bad, and he learns the evils of his organization that he's working for, the regime that he's working for, and then he runs away in episode 7, and then in episode 8 he's learning war is bad, and this is the harshness of war, which he already learned in episode 7. So I do think that Finn should have been teaching Poe that, because throughout that movie, Poe was like, can I get in the next wing and blow something up? This is essentially his whole thing. So him learning it would have been more impactful at that time in episode 8. But then you see both, I believe his name is Oscar Isaac and John Boyega in episode 9 as Poe and Finn just blossom into these great characters with depth, and you get the little bit more backstory on Poe and all this stuff. And then I do think that if anybody is getting either a TV show or a standalone movie out of this trilogy, it better be Poe, because there's stuff before him that would probably be more interesting than seeing somebody like Rose and stuff like that. And Rise of Skywalker, I think that they should have, whenever what's her name? Whenever the two, Finn and that other stormtrooper were talking while repairing the Falcon, she should have said that she left, or they left the Order because of Finn. It would have been a little bit more impactful to show his importance, and his bravery to leave the First Order would have been commended at that moment. And I think that they just fell flat on it, and they definitely could have utilized it a little bit better than what they did. That was one of the bad things about that movie. But the arcs, they were pretty good. Probably phenomenal for some, but pretty good as an overall. I'll probably rate the story arcs about a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7, depending on which version of their arcs you go off of. This story is all about finding that true balance, and just going off of that, it's something that needed to be shown on the screen. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of people wanted to have happen in this trilogy that just might not have been able to be shown accurately and with the right amount of delicacy that needed to happen in order to pull them off to be believable. Like in episode 9, when Rey is jumping from place to place on the Death Star, people were like, well, we do remember she can float, right? Because that was the first time we saw her in the movie where she was floating with the Force. She probably was. She was probably using the Force. Those distances were probably a lot longer in distance than what we think they were. So she was probably using the Force to get from one place to another. And a lot of people are like, well, what did Finn want to tell Rey? It wasn't that he loved her or had feelings for her, because them two obviously care for each other, but you can... I don't know about you, but I've loved people that I've never wanted a relationship for, like brothers or like friends, people that I've known that are brother and sister in a way as far as how close we are. And that's what I feel that their relationship is. So every time that one of them is in trouble, that's why they're always like, where is Rey? Where is Finn? Is Finn okay? Is Rey okay? Stuff like that. They're close together because they started this journey together. So that bond is just there. So a lot of people want them to be together. I think it would have been better if it was Poe and Finn being together. If you really wanted representation, that would have been the route to go for in my eyes. But I don't know. This just needs to age a little bit for people to actually appreciate it, I guess, because it's the same thing that happened with the prequels. A lot of people hated it when they first came out, and then the love is starting to dawn for them because they're actually appreciating what they did story-wise. So I think it just needs to age a little bit. People will probably come around and realize these movies aren't as bad as what they think they are, and they had maybe a bad viewing the first time, and they stuck with it. So I hope you come back for my last video, aka the next video, which is the recap of what this saga is conveying from their galaxy a long time ago. Far, far away. I'll see you in a little bit.